Hey guys, in today's video we are going to cover what if Anakin Skywalker started his own Jedi Order. Now, for this to come into fruition, we are going to have to change some precursors, so let's interject ourselves into Revenge of the Sith. Anakin has just been sent to the council chambers by order of Mace Windu, after he told him that Palpatine is the Sith Lord. In the original timeline, Windu knocks Palpatine to the floor and defeats him. But in this story, we're going to imagine that Palpatine kills Windu and the other Jedi before executing Order 66. He can sense that Anakin wasn't going to appear and save him, so he cuts his losses, turning the clones against the Jedi. Anakin meets up with Yoda and Obi-Wan, who agree that they must go and stop Palpatine before it's too late. Originally, Anakin was debating joining Palpatine, but after seeing the horrors of Order 66, he was determined to stop him. The three of them would go to the Emperor's office and with their combined strength, kill Palpatine. With his death, they would be able to stop the Order before its completion, but an estimated 80% of the Order was lost. In this moment, with the galaxy ready for change, with Bail Organa as their new Supreme Chancellor, Anakin and Padme, who had just successfully given birth to their children, make an enormous decision. Anakin Skywalker leaves the Jedi Order, believing their dogmatic ways to be outdated, and he believes that if he begins his own Jedi Order, it would represent the opposite of the Jedi, with different values and, more importantly, allowing attachments. In Anakin's mind, he believes that love is the most sacred thing in the galaxy. He has been married for 3 years and has remained in the light. Okay, so now that the setup for the story is complete, let's really begin. Anakin and Padme have a lot to figure out. Even though she wasn't Force sensitive, Padme loved her husband and wished to help him in his new endeavor however best she could. They travel back to Padme's home world of Naboo, where they go deep into the jungle and lush landscape, where they find the Gallo Temple. The Gallo Temple was an ancient Jedi temple which was temporarily used during the High Republic era, but at this point in time had not been used in almost 300 years. It was perfect for Anakin's new Jedi Order. The couple set up their operations here. Anakin began by personally recruiting and training a handful of promising Force-sensitive individuals. At this point, he just needed students. Some Jedi from the Order on Coruscant elected to leave and join Anakin, feeling similar about the dogmatic ways of the Order and believing Anakin to be a more rightful path. Along with these new students also included some Jedi Masters such as Quinlan Vos and Luminara Unduli, who were able to survive the Purge because of Palpatine's short and timely death. Anakin's dedication to nurturing the next generation of Jedi was evident as he meticulously honed the skills of his own children, Luke and Leia. He taught them everything he knew, and they held Chosen One potential, the potential to become extremely powerful. Over time, the word of his Jedi Order would spread across the galaxy. Anakin's former apprentice, Ahsoka Tano, arrived at the temple and elected to join it, believing in her old master and knowing that she could achieve great things. As the Order expanded, Anakin and Ahsoka, along with other dedicated masters, worked tirelessly to instill their knowledge and wisdom into the next generation of Jedi. With each passing day, their Order would grow stronger and would be able to offer protection and healing to parts of the galaxy. Their sights now set on expanding and growing Anakin's Order. Their mission is simple. They serve the people of the galaxy, not the Senate. 40 years have passed since the creation of Anakin's new Jedi Order, and it had flourished beyond all expectations. With a membership that now counted 1,000 members, the Order had firmly established themselves as strong protectors of the galaxy. The Jedi Order on Coruscant still operated and had slowly rebuilt to a couple thousand members, but nothing compared to where they were before Order 66. The new Jedi, under the guidance of Anakin and Padme, had become peacekeepers and protectors, with their influence extending far and wide. Anakin, now 60 years old, had grown into a powerful and respected figure. Despite the length of time, his love for Padme had remained as strong as the day they first met. Their children Luke and Leia had blossomed into powerful Jedi Masters, both aged 40. Their mastery of the Force was unparalleled, and they were easily recognizable as the Chosen One's children. They were the pride of the Order, embodying the ideals and strength that their father had instilled in them. However, deep in the galaxy, the lost tribe of the Sith, an ancient and formidable Sith order, had long remained stranded from the known galaxy for almost 5 millennia in the outer space world of Kesh, waiting for a moment where they could find a way to return. Over the centuries, their numbers had grown in secrecy, and by the time they re-emerged, they numbered in the thousands. Their dark practices and teachings had kept them hidden, but they had been relentless in their pursuit of the dark side's mastery. With knowledge and ambition, they had studied ancient Sith texts and relics, reigniting their desire for dominance. As a random traveler discovered them one day, it was time for their return. The traveler was ripped to pieces by the Sith, and now they had a way to escape Kesh. This Sith order was destined for so much more than they had been given, and now they would wreak havoc upon the galaxy, fueled by an unquenchable desire for supremacy. They returned to the galaxy with one singular goal: to eliminate every Jedi, to extinguish the light once and for all, and to restore the Sith to their perceived rightful place as rulers of the galaxy. Their first move was simple. They traveled around the unknown regions gathering resources, marching into settlements and taking whatever they desired. This allowed them to build up their forces and fleet, giving the Sith warriors the materials they needed to conquer the galaxy. Back on Naboo, Anakin continued to train the students in his order as usual. It was a normal day, like any other. He had woken up with Padme next to him, smiled as he got out of bed, and said hello to Ahsoka when he made it to his first lesson. He had the life he had always dreamed of, a life full of peace. But that peace was completely challenged when younglings and Padawans alike came running inside, explaining to Anakin and Ahsoka that an enormous ship in the sky had arrived. As they inform them of this, they hear a loud boom as gunfire and explosions rain down on the planet's surface. This wasn't directed at their temple, but instead the city of Theed. The lost tribe of the Sith had sensed the strongest presence of the light side on Naboo, and so that was their target. The relentless assault engulfed the planet in chaos, plunging it into darkness. Anakin's Jedi Order, along with his children Luke and Leia, mounted the best defense they could to protect Naboo and its people. But the sheer might and ruthlessness of the Sith overwhelmed them. They couldn't save the planet. They were forced to make a difficult decision. Realizing that they were outmatched and with no other possibility, Anakin and his order were forced to initiate a mass evacuation. Ships filled with Jedi and refugees from Naboo took to the skies, leaving the system and entering hyperspace. They all converged in the heart of the galaxy, Coruscant. Anakin couldn't quite understand what had just happened, but all he knew was that if they had any chance of winning, they needed the Jedi Order's help on Coruscant. Anakin and Ahsoka, for the first time in over 4 decades, go to the Jedi Temple and towards the Council Chambers. They stand before the current High Jedi Council, filled with almost completely new members since Anakin's departure. But the one man in particular, whom he had never forgotten, was his master Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan had become the Grand Master after Yoda's death nearly 2 decades earlier, and the Jedi would hear what Anakin had to say. Anakin explained their experience on Naboo and how the planet had been completely destroyed by these other Force users who were extremely powerful. He asked for their help. If the two orders didn't combine and work together, then all hope would be lost. Obi-Wan looks into the eyes of Ahsoka and Anakin. He knows that they're telling the truth. At once, they begin to prepare their defenses. They worked collaboratively as they placed defenses all across Coruscant, informing the Republic Navy of the incoming assault. The Jedi situated themselves in the Jedi Temple, believing that they were more powerful, acting as one. Strong defenses were placed in space as the largest fleet ever assembled was positioned in Coruscant's atmosphere. However, when the lost tribe of the Sith exited hyperspace, they absolutely demolished the fleet within minutes, causing damages and debris to collapse into Coruscant's buildings. The invasion had begun as their fleet entered the planet. They caused absolute tyranny on the planet's surface with gunfire from their starships. But the real damage was caused by the Sith Lords who traveled towards the Jedi Temple, sensing all of the powerful beings within. The hum of their lightsabers filled the air, red, blue, and green, as blades of all hues sizzled and clashed in the flickering darkness. The Jedi and Sith fought with everything they had, swinging their blades with full intensity and using the Force to its highest abilities. Lightning was thrusted into bodies, Jedi choked in the air. It was a battle for the ages. The Sith, fueled by their unrelenting rage and mastery of the dark side, wielded their crimson lightsabers with deadly precision. They were more powerful than the Jedi could possibly imagine. As the relentless duel unfolded, it became apparent that the Sith's strength in numbers and ruthless unity were decimating the Jedi Order. The dark side coursed through the veins of the Sith, enhancing their speed, strength, and endurance, allowing them to overwhelm the Jedi with sheer power. The temple's sacred walls bore witness to agonizing spectacles, the death of the Jedi. They fought to the bitter end to protect their legacy and teachings, but found themselves pushed to the brink of extinction. Anakin stared into the distance, feeling a strong sensation in his chest. It grew and became more evident as he felt his essence begin to drift. Within moments, he was sucked into a nearby realm, away from the Jedi Order. He rises from the floor and looks around, as the dark, endless space he was in. He had no idea what was happening, but knew that the Force must have brought him here for a reason, perhaps to find a way to defeat the Sith. Anakin is greeted by the Father, whom he had not seen in decades and he knew was dead, which confused him even more. But Anakin's mind was put to rest when the Father explains that they are in the Beyond Shadows realm, another dimension where the living could communicate with the dead. He entrusts Anakin to find the knowledge that he seeks, and with that, he disappears. He searched what seemed like days, but he knew he was close. He could sense the presence of power, but also dark power. As he marches the world, he locates what he is looking for: Abeloth. Abeloth is a powerful and ancient being, a Force-sensitive entity imprisoned for centuries, whose abilities and strength make her one of the most powerful beings to ever exist. Now it's important to note here that she is evil, full of the dark side, but Anakin is desperate and knows if he doesn't cut a deal, then the galaxy itself will be pillaged by the Sith. Abeloth acknowledged the direness of the situation. She explained to Anakin that she had been trapped within this realm for over 10,000 years, her physical body imprisoned and severed from the world beyond. Her isolation had been torture, and her powers lay dormant for far too long. To secure her assistance in destroying his enemy, she presented the grim terms of their deal. In a slow and whispered tone, Abeloth described how she could return to the physical realm by temporarily taking control of Anakin's body, as he became an avatar for her spirit. However, the price for her resurrection was the ultimate sacrifice: his life. Anakin's resolve wavered for a moment, torn between his duty and the realization of what he was about to undertake. If he did this, he would die, but in the end, this was his destiny. He was the chosen one and created to bring balance to the Force. He was born for this very moment. Anakin ultimately accepted the deal, thinking of Padme and his children, whom he would now never see again. He didn't expect things to finish like this. As he consented, Abeloth's form began to shift, her spectral presence merging with his own. It was time. Anakin returned to the material realm through Anakin's physical form. Everyone on the battlefield paused and stared directly at the bright light that was Anakin. When he opened his eyes, they would glow a stark red. Abeloth didn't waste any time as she unleashed her power onto the Sith. Her strength was released with devastating speed and precision, and in a matter of minutes, she cut a swamp of destruction through the Sith ranks, obliterating them in a fearsome display of mastery over the dark side of the Force. She was arguably the most powerful entity to ever exist. The once unstoppable Sith forces fell like dominoes before her, their power nearing absolute zero compared to her. As the final Sith entity crumbled before Abeloth's unstoppable might, Anakin's avatar dropped to the floor, drained of life. The red in his eyes diminished as his body ceased to exist. His sacrifice was a true demonstration of what it meant to be a Jedi. With the Sith vanquished, Coruscant was spared from impending doom. As the dust settled on Coruscant, the surviving members of the Jedi Order gathered together. They had prevailed, even when it appeared that they wouldn't, thanks to Anakin. Led by Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, they ultimately decided to combine their efforts once and for all, and join the two Jedi Orders back into one powerful union. Their values were shared and focused on living in honor of Anakin's memory and his unwavering commitment to peace and justice. Padme, Luke, and Leia were devastated by Anakin's sacrifice, but found solace in knowing the knowledge that he had fulfilled the prophecy of the Chosen One. The galaxy, scarred by the years of conflict and darkness, finally had found its peace. And although it was without Anakin, he had ensured that peace would remain for centuries to come. If you enjoyed today's video, you must watch What If Anakin Killed Obi-Wan, or What If Ahsoka Went to Mustafar instead of Obi-Wan. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the story and how you think it would have differed. Thank you all for watching, I really hope you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you.